Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Sedona, and this is Jeff.
Hey girlies.
Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to draw Muichiro Tokito from Demon Slayer, so without further ado, let's get started. Before we begin, I would like to say it's super stormy outside, so it's super windy and rainy, so if you hear that, that's what that is. Anyway, I'm a beginner artist, so I'm nowhere near an expert, but I'm just going to give a little tutorial based on what I know. So first, I did the guidelines, which is a circle and then a line through the middle. Then I drew lines for the jawline. Then I go in to do the actual jawline, which I do end up erasing this one later, but this is just like for the tutorial. But it's just a little line that curves to the chin, and then the chin points, and then it goes back up for the jawline. And he has hair covering his face in the picture that I was referencing, so I did that before I began with the rest of his jawline and his face, which was just super easy, and I'm not super good at explaining things, so everything that I say will probably not help. So if I was watching my own tutorial, I would lean heavily on what I'm actually doing instead of listening to what I'm saying. So yeah. Anyway, again, I'm not exactly sure how to explain what I'm doing, but it's just his bangs, and I end up erasing these later too because I don't like the way that I have them, but it's just for like reference to know what to do next. This, I'm not at all adding any of my style into it. I'm trying my best to recreate the Demon Slayer style, but it does not look that good in the end, in my personal opinion. Even like my skills, I feel like this is not one of my better drawings, but I just had to do it so that I could get something posted because I didn't post last week, which I apologize for. But he has one extra strand of hair that goes like longer down the center of his face, and this is kind of where I decided that I messed up. So I did the other side, and then I erased the side that I did initially. And I apologize, my sister is calling my mom in the background, so yeah. Anyway, the physics for his hair don't really make any sense to me, but I'm just following the reference picture. So, it's just super stylized. Demon Slayer hair is super stylized, but I'm not complaining, I love Demon Slayer. Anyway, I'm honestly not exactly sure how to explain really any of this. I'll probably be better at explaining once we get to like the hand or something, but right now I'm just adding more of the bangs, which I hope it's somewhat doable to follow along with what I'm doing, and I apologize if it's not. I wanted to do another tutorial video because a bunch of people seem to like my Shinobu tutorial, which I had a lot of fun doing. I don't think I'll color Muichiro because I don't really like how it turned out, but I just figured that I would do another tutorial, just so I had another one out there. And if you guys like the tutorials, give this video a thumbs up and go check out my Shinobu tutorial if you haven't already. I followed the shape of the ear, but it kind of looks a little weird, but it looks better once I add different things to it and like shading and stuff, which I have a habit of shading as I draw, so I'll just like shade random things in when I'm drawing, and I probably shouldn't anymore because it like wastes time and makes it so I have to cut more out of my videos, but I do it for whatever reason. Anyway, now I am working more on the hair, and the picture that I reference, which I do show a picture of it at the end of this video, just in case someone wanted to copy colors or do their own reference picture, because mine is not very good. But the hair is kind of going in a lot of different places with like wind and the pose he's in. He's like about to do an attack. So I tried my best to like make it so that somewhat resembled what was in the picture. But it was kind of hard because I had to decide what to draw first and what to draw after, with the parts that are going over different things and under different things. But overall, this drawing was pretty easy, and I got it done in like a half hour. But that could also be because I just did not put that much effort into it, honestly, because I was super tired after school, and I just had to get a video out, so that's what I did this. And I apologize, you can just see my hair, but anyway, now I am just continuing his hair, which he has a lot of, and so yeah, just more hair, and then probably some shading, because of course I would do that. Anyway, next I am working on his uniform, which the Demon Slayer uniforms, they're all similar and yet so different. Like with Muichiro's, his pants are more, they flare out, whereas normally they would go in. Obviously you can't see his pants in this picture, but I was just saying, for whatever reason. But anyway, so he is kind of turned away from us, but looking at us, so his shoulder is over the front of his body, and it's just curved lines. And now I'm working on the handguard of his katana, which was kind of difficult with the angle it was at and the fact that it was covered by hair. So I was trying to to make that to the best of my abilities, which isn't great, but it's okay. And of course I'm shading again, because why not? But anyways, now I am just continuing with his handguard, which there isn't a lot I can say because I'm not exactly sure how to explain most of this stuff. So honestly, this tutorial is not going to be very good, and honestly, you might be better off just watching it on mute, so that my voice and my talking isn't annoying during it. But that's up to you. That's personally what I would do, but to each their own. A little side note, I am in a subscriber war with my cousin, and we both have very little subscribers, but I currently have more than him, but he got more recently. So if you want to help me win the subscriber war with my cousin, you should subscribe to me and like the video. But I'm just continuing with the handguard, which takes a while because I had to find out try and do all the different angles, which was kind of difficult with the direction he was facing. But after I got that, I got his hand done pretty quickly, which honestly don't know how. But I'm just shading more because I always shade. But now I am working on his fingers. Only 3 of his fingers are showing, so it was pretty easy, but it's just a straight line, and then a curve upwards for his knuckle, and then a curve down that kind of hooks around in like a upside down and super wide V. But then I just added a little line there for his other knuckle of his middle finger, and then I was just following the reference picture, so this knuckle is super prominent for whatever reason. It's not how I would do it, but I feel like it looks okay at the end, so I just did it. You are of course welcome to not do what I'm doing and pause, speed up, or slow down the video. I once my brother was watching one of my videos, the Lamborghini one that he was in, and he sped it up all the way to 2 times speed, and me and him were laughing so hard, especially when it got to the part where I said, I would like to apologize in advance for my brother's existence, because then it was super quiet after, and it was just super sped up, and it was really funny for us. Anyway, I have, of course, done more shading, but that is optional, which is why I cut it out. Anyway, I didn't use a ruler, which I should have, but I didn't have one on me, but I am just adding the blade to his katana, which it doesn't really make sense. It almost looks like he's decapitating himself, but I just followed the reference picture, and I also had trouble with the angle, but I ultimately got it. But I didn't have a ruler, so the line is not straight, and it still isn't straight because I haven't fixed it because I don't like the drawing that much. But I do fix it a little bit in the end of this video, but I'm pretty sure that I cut it out. Anyway, he looks halfway decent right now, but then once I start to add like where he's looking, it makes him look super derpy, which I don't love how it turned out, because his eyes really messed up the entire drawing, but it's okay, because I just left it like that, so he looks a little bit weird, like Muichiro at 3 a.m. Anyway, now I'm just adding the guidelines for his face, which are just 2 horizontal lines going across where his eyes will be, and then 2 lines to separate the eyes so I know where to draw them. Then, I'm not exactly sure how to explain, but I just am currently drawing the upper eyelash, which I make thicker and then color in, but I'm not really sure how to explain what I did. It's just like a rainbow shape. I don't know. Anyway, so then, I'm just adding random lines because the Demon Slayer art style has random lines to add volume to the lashes, and then I'm adding his lower lash line, which is again like a very wide V. Then I just made it darker, and then I'm just staring at it now, but then I'm adding the upper eyelid crease, and then the eyebrow, which he is furrowing his eyebrows so that he looks more angry, which is why that's going way up like that. Then I just made it a little thicker and shaded it in, or colored it in. My grammar is immaculate today. Anyway, then I just added a little hook shape that goes up, and then made that thicker. And again, I apologize for the rain and the wind. It is super duper loud right now, and I don't know if the video is catching up on it, but it's really loud for me, so yeah. Anyway, now he looks angry, and then I just added a lower lash line and his eyelid, then added wrinkles in his skin to make him look more angry because he's so angry. Anyway, now I am adding the other eye, which it wasn't hard for me to make them look halfway decent and like they would actually maybe belong on the same face. But then the pupils are a different story, so let's not go there. Anyway, I just followed the same steps, made it thicker, and then did the lower lash line, eyelid, and then the eyebrow. While adding more volume, like the Demon Slayer art style. But, again, not exactly sure how to explain it. Anyway, I just realized that my pencil looks weird this video, and it's because I ran out of eraser, and it didn't come with eraser refill. It came with lead refill, so I just took out the eraser so that I could refill with lead, and then the cap fell off. So yeah, that's where that went. Anyway, now of course I'm just adding unnecessary steps, which you do not need to do this. I'm just doing it because I'm making things more complicated for myself. Anyway, trying to figure out what I'm doing next. Oh yeah, just following the next steps, which are the upper eyelid and the eyebrow. He looks very angry. Like he just walked in on you murdering his brother. Whoops. So yeah, then I just made it thicker and colored it in. And I probably could have cut this part out, but I didn't for whatever reason. So now you can watch me take 30 seconds to color in an eyebrow. Now, of course, I'm covering it what I'm doing with my hand because I have a tendency to do that. Anyway, now I'm just adding the eyelid and then extra little details that are super unnecessary, but I added anyway. Little lines. But I guess this whole drawing is just little lines, isn't it? Anyway, now I'm adding his nose, which makes him look like he has a really tiny mouth right now. But that is his nose, and then I just added a little line that goes over it and curves near it while adding hatching to add shading, I guess, and then another curved line next to it. Then I added a dot in the center underneath his nose, a dot that goes down and a little ways away on both sides, and then just connected them with adding a cupid's bow as well. Just to make him look more threatening. It looks a little bit like those cartoon birds you might draw when you're little, where it looks like an M. But, although honestly I still draw my birds like that. If they're in the distance, they're just M's. But I haven't drawn a bird in forever, and that is super off topic. That's a guy. Anyway, now I'm adding the eyes that make him look absolutely possessed by Michael Jackson. Anyway, they're kind of angular because Demon Slayer eyes are not circles, from what I've noticed. At least with the guys, Tanjiro and Muichiro mainly. Then just adding shading, because of course I am. Adding his pupil, making it look like he's staring not at us, but instead at something right past our shoulder, which is what makes him look possessed. But don't worry, when I add the other eye, it looks even worse. Anyway, then I decided to make the pupil a little bit darker because I can, so I did. Anyway, then I added more unnecessary shading, because it seems like all my shading is unnecessary shading. And then, as soon as I'm done with that, I add shading to the sclera, because I just did. And next, which this voiceover is so incredibly boring right now. I would not watch my own video. God, this is horrendous. Anyway, now I am doing the other eye, which I just essentially just follow the same steps, just close to us and making it look like he looks even more possessed. But I'm not exactly sure how to explain it. But when I don't add the inside of the eye, he actually looks halfway decent. But then when I add the pupil, he looks really weird. Anyway, also, something I've noticed, if I add just a pupil, it makes them look terrifying. So I just shade the entire top half, and then I go down in the center to make it look like he has a pupil without making it look like it's from a horror movie. Anyway, then I just added more unnecessary shading, and now he looks like he's being possessed by Michael Jackson, aka Muzan Kibusuji. And then I added shading to the sclera, and then I ultimately do fix it a little bit, which honestly I don't even know if it's fixing, or if it's just making him look even more scary. But you can see how weird he looks right now with his curved katana in the background. But now I'm adding darker patch in his pupil to make it look like he's actually maybe looking towards us, but now he just looks like he's going to murder us in our sleep. Anyway, Now I'm just adding a cut because he has a little cut that is bloody, and I totally forgot to add that. But here is the picture if you want to reference for coloring or redo. But now we are nearing the end, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on post notifications, and I will see you all next time in my next video. Like if you liked the tutorial, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.